This is Emsolation.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Emsolation Conversations. My name is Em, your host. Joining us today is someone who I know very well. He's a good friend of mine. This will probably be our third podcast chat together. But he's been going through a little bit of a transformation emotionally and physically at the moment. I've been watching it unfold online because I can't bloody see him. Rob Mills, welcome. Hello.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here, babes.
Like, I remember the first time we did a podcast together and I was like, no one will hear this. And then said some things about certain deli aunts many years ago and then it just gets brought back up again. I'm like, that's it. No more of that stuff. Anyway, I have been going through a bit of a transformation.
I love how you've mentioned the Paris Hilton thing and not me. For fuck's sake, we're moving on.
I know. I'm just getting it out of the way. I'm just saying last time I didn't think it was going to be a thing.
It was amazing. Look, it's
not amazing.
No, but it's
the worst.
It's something that, you have to just be at peace with it. It's a part of your history.
I'm at peace with it. And
I know.
I have a lovely partner now. She's wonderful.
She's the best.
She is the best. And
Is
I
she
know
there?
that she's not here. She's still coming back from work. She leaves me at about 2:30, 3 a.m. every morning. And then she comes home and I make her brunch when she gets home.
Oh, you're so good. We speak, of course, of ABC News' Georgie Tunney. She's amazing. She's far too good for you, but anyway.
I think you've already said this to me a few times.
Yeah.
If we ever break up, you're taking Georgie.
100%. I get Georgie in the divorce. 1,000,000%. Obviously, you're a live performer as I am, and stages are dark at the moment. They've gone dark across the land, except I did read that beautiful thing about how the Opera House are lighting the stage every night to remind, performers that they'll be back there and that to light yourself, keep lighting yourself as a live performer. And I thought that was really beautiful.
That is lovely. But do you know my initial thought just then, Em, is...
What? The electricity bill?
The electricity bill, just give that money to us.
Oh, my God. Shut up. It was a nice sentiment.
It is a lovely sentiment, but I was like, it does cost quite a lot.
So honestly, what did it mean for you when everything got shut down, live performing?
It's just, it's sadness. I mean, across all forms of entertainment, whether it's musical theatre or comedy or acting and even live gigs, it is truly a dark time in our history. This will go down as a year that is probably the worst for entertainment. And also to be told by a government all across the world that we are not essential it's really hard pill to swallow.
I know, and so many people I know are unable to access, the funding that the government has been providing, and also, applying for grants. It's pretty tough and difficult. And if you know anyone who's an artist, filling out paperwork, not a strong point of ours.
Nah, we're not good at it.
A lot of people don't bother.
The other thing that always keeps getting brought up is whenever there is a crisis or whenever the world is in turmoil, who do we turn to? We turn to the artists. We put on benefit concerts. We donate our time for nothing to entertain the troops, to entertain the masses. Who entertains the artists? Like
Who's putting on the benefit for us? God, I need it. But not only that, if you even want to go more baseline in every day, the people that we're watching on Netflix and on YouTube and the things that are occupying our mind during this, unprecedented international pandemic are artists. Again, you're still turning to them every day and not realizing that they're but not only the artists, the people that make the artists look good, or the camera crew and the makeup and the wardrobe, all those people are out of work. The producers, the directors, the writers. It's this whole community that's suffering.
Speaking of the writing though, there is a lot of people who've, had to shut down their work with producers, big production companies, but there's a lot of writers in Australia that are doing sometimes maybe work that they don't really want to do. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what comes from this. I mean, I'm a massive believer in adversity breeds awesomeness, but think of all the writers out there that maybe have been slogging away in a job that they don't really want to write for, but now they actually have the downtime. I'm sure they've got no money, but they do have the time, which they maybe didn't have before. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what projects come out of this over the next 12 months to 24 months or whatever.
Yeah, hopefully.
I think there's going to be some incredible writing that comes out of it.
Well, or none, because I'm trying to finish writing my book, and
How's that go?
I'm not good. It's not. Every time I sit down, I feel overwhelmed and exhausted. It's just like in this terrible cycle with my creativity.
You also do have children as well.
I know, but normally I can tap into this really exciting, never-ending well. It's my escape. It's my fantasy land. It's Bastian in Never-Ending Story.
Yeah.
And that has run dry. I can't bring myself to make funny videos anymore, or like I've lost all my kind of optimism at the moment.
Do you need someone who's filling your cup, Em? You fill a lot of people's cups, can I say, on a daily basis, whether it's through your video or just a sneaky message here and there, or content. Who's filling your cup?
No one.
Oh, I don't.
No one. I mean, you check in. Santilla, my friend Santilla checks in a couple times a week.
Maybe that's it.
My friends are checking in, like friends who know me well, are definitely checking in. But, you know, a text is lovely and it does make me feel good that someone's thinking about me. But in terms of actually pouring back into the energy cup, it's
it's hard.
Brutal.
I think I said to you the other day, if you can have a day out or which is like good luck with that, Rob.
I can drive 5 kilometres and stand in a paddock and shout.
Yeah, that's it. Bring me creativity.
But this podcast isn't about me. Stop flipping the script.
Sorry.
Look,
it's my hosting role, so I'm so sorry.
I know we're trying to out-host each other. I do really want to talk about you've been going through it basically, and I think every few years you have these epiphanies about yourself, as do I. But mine seem to happen every week at the moment. Like, for fuck's sake, I don't want to learn anything more about myself I don't like. I've realised that I really love myself, but I don't like myself a lot of the time. And it's a very complicated relationship. But I do know that this all kind of happened. You got leveled out. All the work kind of went. A dear friend of yours died. 2 dear friends of yours died in close succession to each other. And you were kind of brought to your knees by the world and the universe. And talk to me about the process of hitting rock bottom and how you've been kind of coming back up from that.
I wouldn't say it was rock bottom. I never.
Would you say it was rock bottom emotionally for you?
Yeah, go on. Let's do that.
I mean, I don't mean like, you know, I don't mean rock bottom in the sense of, you know, you're a rock star out drinking at 3 a.m., you know, that I mean.
Yeah, no, far from it. I wasn't really drinking that much at all.
It felt you were brought to your knees emotionally. Like when I would speak to you, you sounded really wrung out and exhausted. And
angry.
Yeah.
I found myself being super judgmental with everything, and I couldn't find, I think the words I used in an article I wrote was I couldn't find the joy. And that's really something that I think I do really well. I'm quite a positive, optimistic person. I bring a lot of joy to my mates, to my work, and I was just hating on everything. And I realised it was, just a combination of everything. And I think we're all going through it at the moment. We as human beings don't like change. Some like it more than others, but systemically we just don't really like change. That's just how human beings work. We know baby boomers don't like change. But even us, you know, millennials or Gen X, Gen Ys, we don't like it. And we're having so much change in the last 6 months, and especially for not only ourselves, but all our friends and all our family are affected. And we're looking for some sort of leadership. And there is, dare I say, not a lot. I think Dan has done a pretty good job here in Melbourne. It makes you realise he's just a human. He is just a man just trying to get other men and women to work together to do something they've never done before. And then the news is, I think watching Donald Trump on the news and all that, every time he speaks, I just feel disappointed that is the leader of the free world. I think watching too much news, hearing about all my friends without work, not being essential, friends dying, and not being able to go to funerals and celebrate their life. And I think it was a lot. And I think there's a thing that happens on social media, and I'm sure you've felt this yourself as someone who sits in a bit of anxiety and, you know, trying to create sort of stuff. But watching other people, there's what is this FOMO that we feel? The FOMO that is fear of missing out, but when people are posting things, I'm on a beach, like you shouldn't be on a beach. You should be inside wearing a mask. Like, the ignorance of people really shocked me. The selfishness of humanity was getting me down. So I just had to switch off and find out all the things that I enjoyed doing again. And that was reading. So I've been reading more books. I found a really wonderful book called Boy Swallows Universe. I think it won a bunch of prizes a few years ago.
I've read that, darling. I've read it. It's great.
Isn't it just a wonderful Aussie story?
It's a tough read, though.
Yeah, I wept openly throughout it. Like, it was so beautifully written. I mean, the first 20, 30 pages, it took me a while to get into it.
And also the style of writing, it's not an easy page turner. Like, you have to work to take in the narrative and take in the style, and you have to stay present. And it's not a book you can just kind of flip in and out of. Like, it really commands your attention. And I think that's the brilliance of the writing style.
Yeah, but once you're in, you're really in. And
yeah.
I said this to Georgie. She hasn't read it yet, but I said there's something so wonderful about. I mean, he talks about time a lot and what it means to speed up and slow down. I find that he managed to do that really well with his writing. I found like I was reading faster at the bits I had to read faster, and then I would slow down, and it was a really great sort of little metaphor. Reading that book and the slowing down of our world and slowing down of my life, and I was like, oh, I really just need this slow down right now, and that's okay. It's okay that it's not okay.
But what are the things you came to realize about yourself that you wanted to address? I'm really interested in like nailing you on this, because I think, especially men, straight men, and I'm generalizing, I think a lot of straight men don't take the time to honor, traditionally unmasculine feelings. Really drilling down on that emotional intelligence and saying, hey, I'm going to put my hand up and say, I can't tick the boxes of masculinity, this perceived masculinity and what I need to do as a man, and all these pressures on what it means to be a man now, and I don't really know what that even looks like. And I just think someone like you, it would be very helpful for other men to hear, or with wives of other men, or girlfriends or brothers or sisters, whatever, your kind of journey to being okay with drilling down on your emotions, because you've been doing a lot of that.
I think it started many, many years ago, just getting away from an old manager and trying to work out what it is to just be a man, away from, dare I say, the teat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean by that? You have to be comfortable with who you are as a man, but also your relationship with your father is super important, and knowing what that is. So for all men out there, you need to love your dad, or at least come to terms with the fact that you may not love your dad, but just you can still respect him. That's super important, which I have done over the years. But regular checkups with a psych is so important. I had some really good chats with my psych over the last 6 months. I recorded some of it and tried to – I think my plan is to break down the stigma of even just going to see a psych.
Oh, a million bajillion percent.
If you've got a sore hamstring, you go see the physio.
Yeah.
So you got a bit of a sore brain – go and see the psych.
And also, I think people prioritise that financially last. Like, the first thing to go when times are tough are usually the psych appointments or the counselling appointments or the exercise, the gym, all the things that are actually really important that if you can somehow find a way to pay for. But I do feel like we still prioritise our mental health last. It seems as a luxury to see a counsellor.
Well, you can buy a slab of beer for $50, or you can go see a counsellor for $100. What do you think people are doing? I think that's really sad, and I think it's something that needs to be addressed. I tell you what, it is being addressed though. The Victorian state government has actually already upped from, I think it's 6 appointments that you can see a psych every year, which is rebatable by the government, by Medicare. Yeah. They've upped that to 20 in Victoria, which I think is fantastic.
Yeah.
So that's the first step, was going to have a chat. And then it was also just chatting to my partner about how I felt.
Because traditionally you push people away when you're battling.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I completely shut off, and then I like to think that it's everyone else's fault.
That is so enlightened. That is good self-awareness, Robert. So the fact that you knew that in the past, especially in relationships, you do shut down when you're battling and then find a way to project it onto other people. And I think I've certainly done that. I think we've all in some point, and to be able to recognise that is massive.
Yeah, I suppose for the women listening who have got partners, or the men who are listening who have got partners, and you find your partner blaming you for stuff, just question them on that. Ask them why they think that is. I think that's a really good way. I've actually said that to Georgie. If I ever get that way again, just ask me, if it really is her or really it's me going through something, and then that starts the conversation.
But it's so hard at the moment to have rational conversations, especially if you're living with your partner in Victoria at the moment.
Well, what if it is your partner that is actually the problem? That's the other thing.
Oh, I know.
Go and have the chat with your psych and get them to teach you a few conversation starters to at least start the conversation. Because at one point you did love this person. That's my other thing. For people who are going through tough times at the moment, find that place again. And it's hard work. It's hard. Relationships are hard.
But they're also not meant to be put under the pressure they're under now.
No.
It's not a natural state.
I don't even have kids. We don't even have a dog.
It gets down to even just like whose work's more important at that point in time. You know, like you get down to those arguments of like just trying to carve out time to do something, but the other person has to do something, but there's kids, and that arguing of whose work's more important. Like it can get really petty, and because there's no escape.
There's no escape. And also, this is the thing I think I've really worked out in the last month since sort of coming out of the funk and seeing the light. It's to celebrate the wins. Now, the wins used to be going on a holiday for a family. The wins used to be catching up with girlfriends or catching up with mates, or you've got to really lower the bar now, but there's still a win. Even if it's getting out of bed, like that's a win. Make the bed. That is a win. Like
it is. And important.
You've just got to really lower the bar right now, and that's okay.
We need a collective lowering of standards. I've been saying this for years.
Yeah.
We really do. But
you mean as finding a partner as well?
No, not necessarily that. But in terms of the standards we're holding ourselves accountable to, and like you mentioned, social media, if you're holding your life to those standards of other people that you're looking on their highlights reel, then you're fucked. You're honestly screwed from the moment you get up in the morning. If you're like, oh, this woman on Instagram, all her kids are eating healthy snacks and doing their at-home schooling, and she's got colour-coded, stationary charts, and look how organised she is, and she's still thin, and she still seems to be in love with her partner, and oh God, there's a lot of that going on at the moment on social media, and it makes me really mad because I know the truth behind some of those people's photos as well.
Yeah. It's not real. There's nothing real about social media. I mean, you and I think, are pretty good at keeping it relative, like pretty real. Like what you see is what you get.
Yeah. I mean, occasionally there'll be like a cat sitting on my head or a sloth or a weird butterfly filter. But other than that, for funsies. But other than that, I feel like it's my responsibility to help people feel less shit. So,
It's not your responsibility.
It feels like it is. I feel like it is.
I'm just clearing it up for you. It's not your responsibility.
Well, it is in a way because I try and be the person I need. And I know that sounds super narcissistic, but whenever I'm writing or making something or putting something out there, I try and fill the gaps that I feel I have. And that's the only kind of rules I've had in terms of the stuff I've made over the last 15 years has been, oh, well, what would make me feel better right now?
What am I not seeing out there? Yeah.
What could I make that would make me feel seen right now? And that's what I've been making. So it's my survival, and it's my kind of therapy is working through my deep traumas on stage sometimes.
Which is also hilarious. So thank you for that.
Oh, but the weird part about this time is it does bring all your trauma to the surface because there's so much space now for it.
Because the nothingness, you can't distract.
In the past, I was wearing busy as a badge of honour. I was the busiest person I know, and I was fucking proud of that fact. And
distract.
It was a great way for me to not address deep trauma. Like I still haven't processed the breakfast radio stuff. That is still locked tightly in a sparkly box in the corner with an elephant sitting on it.
When is that going to be opened?
I'm going to write this blazing manifesto and have it set for release upon my death. That's probably when it's going to be dealt with.
It's not, so it won't be in the book?
Nah, it's like
people are still alive.
I'm still alive. I don't want to deal with shit.
Is this going to be one of those government documents that can't be looked at until 50 years after or something?
Yeah. They'll have to redact every name. No, truly, because when Prince died, he had like 4 albums ready to go. So this thing will be written. I'll give it to Michael Lucas, and he'll be instructed to allow it out once I'm dead. No, I mean, there's a lot of trauma around the breakfast radio stuff that I still can't talk about, but a lot of it weirdly has been bubbling up for me during this time, and I think a lot of people are feeling the same way, and that stuff they thought they'd addressed is coming back to hurt them because of the silence.
But it's good. It's good to have the silence right now. Hey, can I also just touch on something and get your thoughts on it?
Yeah.
The last 5 to 10 years, we're getting better at acknowledging mental health. And in fact, it's now mental wellness. It's not a mental illness. It went to mental wealth and mental health, and now it's gone to mental wellness. But there's also there's a dark side to it. If we're talking about it all the time, that's all we're talking about. People being sad. And sometimes that can be a self-fulfilling prophecy. There's got to be a resilience sort of side to it as well. I just want to get your thoughts on, if you're talking about mental health all the time, can it also be a bad thing to talk? I'm sad.
Well, I think it's talking about mental health. I feel like you might feel that way because you're so immersed in it, but you are in the minority of people who are comfortable talking about their mental health openly.
Oh yeah, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, you may feel fatigued by it, but I don't think nearly enough people. I don't think we're anywhere near the stage where we're like, we're talking about mental health too much. So
right.
Yeah, I mean, resilience is funny. Michael and I were talking about resilience in a podcast a little while ago, and I'm probably one of my proudest attributes I have of myself is my resilience, but might have none at the moment. Little things are bothering me. Everything's bothering me and breaking my heart and hurting my feelings and humiliating me and things that
maybe you just need a little switch off.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I knew how to do that.
Because it's just one. I'm just thinking of you right now. It's the thing that gives you energy, but it's also the thing that takes away. It's like you're like a weird super. You're like a weird superhero.
It is. I am. Yeah, I am Miss Anxiety, Captain Anxiety. It is my superpower. And I was talking to Melissa Leong about that the other night. Yes, name drop.
Yeah.
Melissa Leong is another member of the Superpower Club of we're super empaths, and I've got a couple friends in showbiz who are super empaths, and she has the same issues as me in that she has to just literally lock herself in a dark room because everything is overstimulating her and everything makes her sad. And she said, it's definitely, I'm learning to harness it as my superpower, but I'm thinking about buying a therapy pod.
Oh, yeah? You just sit in the booth.
Yeah, but it's an actual massive memory foam beanbag. You lay in it and it's like a hug. So I've got my therapy blanket. I've got my anxiety blanket already.
That's the heavy blanket, isn't it?
Yeah, I've got a heavy blanket. I've got
I do
one
that
of
to
those.
Georgie all the time. I just lie on top of it.
Yeah, that's not – that would just feel so claustrophobic. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that would really bring out – that would be fine. Just having someone lay on top of me.
Yeah.
If I don't want that. That's why I've got the anxiety blanket.
All right, tell me about the pod.
The anxiety blanket's kind of stopped working, so I thought I needed to step it up. So I'm going to the pod.
It's like being in the womb by the sounds of it.
Essentially, I'm just doing the slow crawl back up my mother's birth canal.
Yeah.
Essentially, that is what I'm trying to recreate.
So maybe that's it. Maybe that's something that you need to address.
I don't know if I can justify it though. It's about $800.
Ooh.
I know. And like $800 is in the scheme of things, not a lot of money to invest in your mental health, but a lot of money to drop, on what is a fancy beanbag. I am the person who has spent a lot of money on handbags and shoes. I admit it. There are certain things I'll go and candles and flowers and plants and books. There are certain things I'm like, I'll just do it. Doesn't matter. Fine, whatever. But then, I'm also the person at the supermarket who'll get the half-price mints. So it's like there's a fine balance. Yeah,
I'm with you.
But it's like $800. I'm still balking at it because it's ugly. It's like it's just.
Have you got room for it? Where are you going to put it?
So Scott said, if you just pay me, I'll give you a hug like that every day.
You're like, why don't you just hug me for free, Scott?
He does. He's been trying to hug me. I haven't
that's
got any
good.
hugs lately. Yeah, no, I'm not. I don't. When I'm in anxiety spiral, I don't like to be touched at all.
Yep. It's me. You push people away. I know that feeling. I'm just thinking about what's the big purchases you make in your life. They always say buy a really good mattress because you're gonna.
I've got a good mattress. Yeah, I've got a good
use it all the time.
couch,
A good
jeans,
pillow, a good
bathers,
couch.
Yeah.
But I think if this is something that you're going to use, you've got to look at it per use. So, like, do you know what I mean? You got to look at like how much it costs you per use, and if you're going to use it, a million times, that's not a lot, is it? It's not a huge outlay.
I just want to get to a point, and when is this going to happen? Where I'm just like, fuck it, this is who I am, and I'm happy. When am I going to be an obnoxious old person? Because I'm sick of the reinventions. I'm so sick of like going, I think I'm okay. Oh no, I'm actually a dumpster fire of a person. I'm actually a really shit cunt and I need to address that. Like sometimes I wake up and go, oh yeah, I'm a good person. And then something will happen or I'll think something or I'll say something or I'll email something. I'm like, no, you are a human trash fire. When do I get to the point in life, is it like 80, where you're like, you know what, I'm going to blow dry my pubes at the gym. I'm going to wear caftans. I don't give a shit. I'm going to drink gin at 9. I'm going to yell at people from my front porch. When do I get to outrageous old lady? When does that happen?
I think you're already there just by the sound of that last, rant. So I don't think you have to be old to be outrageous.
No, but the super self-awareness, I've had it. I don't want to know anything more about myself. I've reached the threshold of shit stuff about myself.
It's not going to stop though, because that's the way your brain works. You're not going to stop discovering, and that's a good thing. Just so you know.
What have you discovered about yourself this year?
So I already knew this, but I think I like attention, but not too much attention. So it's a slippery slope. It's a knife's edge. Like I like being, I think even at school, I like being the class clown. But when the teacher said, "Do you want to come up here and teach the class?" I would, but I was not very good at it. So so I like a little bit of attention, but not too much. Mm-hmm. I think that's what it is. What else? Just the importance of. I write this in the article is the village. It takes a village to raise a child, but it also takes a village to grieve. It takes a village to be. So we really do need our friends and our family to be around us, and that's such a. It's an important thing, but it's just so hard to have right now that we can't even have human touch. Mm. The interactions between humans has been slipping ever since PayPass came in. This is a very small interaction that you used to have back in the day with cash. Mm. You would go to the counter and you say it's a loaf of bread. Go to 7-Eleven and the guy goes, "That's $2." You put the money in their hand. They count the money. And then they look you in the eye and they trust you, like you trust them, they trust you. There's just it's a brief split second of an interaction, but we don't have that anymore. We don't even have an interaction with the local store person. Like that is.
Oh, you get like 1 second waiting for the approve.
Yeah, but you don't look at them. Like, I mean, anytime there's a person in front of me, it's a chance for a gig. Like I'll try and make a little gag or something. Just
do you know, every time, are you the guy that goes, "Oh, phew"? Like, are you that guy? And if it says approve?
No.
Phew. Knew it would be. It would be.
Like the old spendings. Like
savings. No. More like spendings.
Spendings. Oh, I hate that. No, not that guy. But even those small interactions are gone. Even that you might even brush someone's hand. Like that's electricity that passes between humans. We don't have it. And at the moment we can't even hug. I mean, the fact that we can't even be in the same room right now to do this is pretty weird.
I don't think I've seen you this year. Oh, no, I saw you. And George came out in February?
Yeah, we did.
It was the last time anyone was allowed at my house.
Isn't that weird?
I know, and we're in August. It's weird.
And I slept over last year when I was shooting my death scenes.
Yeah, you slept over. That was late last year when they were killing your character off Neighbours. You stayed at my house because they were killing you close to my house.
In the grave that I dug for Susan Kennedy.
Do you regret leaving Neighbours now because all the work's dried up?
No, not at all. It was the perfect finish. It coincided with the
dying
35th
in a mine.
Anniversary. Dying in a hole that I dug for Susan. It's a watery grave. But no, it coincided with the 35th anniversary of Neighbours. It was the end of my character, which I think is just fantastic to be part of, and also I got to shoot a two-hander with Jackie Woodburn. I mean, it's incredible. She's just, the matriarch of the show, and
you got to be in a coma.
Basically raised me, and I got to be in a coma. I got to do pretty much. I left peak soap is how I like to leave it, and I won Best Actor at the TV Soap Awards in London.
What?
Yeah.
Congratulations!
It's my first acting award win.
I didn't even know that was an award ceremony.
Yeah, it's kind of like I think it's kind of like
don't play it down. Don't play it down. Sounds amazing. Well done. That's exceptional.
Nominated for a Helpman, but never.
Me too.
Yeah. Were you nominated for a Helpman?
I certainly was nominated for a Helpman. Nah, I wasn't. Joking.
What?
No, I was nominated for a Green Room Award, remember?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Would you do a show when it comes back in 2023?
I get asked a lot because I'm a lover of musical theatre. A lot of people assume that I want to be on stage. But no, I don't want to ever do musical theatre. I don't think, first of all, my voice wouldn't hold up. I absolutely know that for certain.
8 shows a week. Yeah, it
just wouldn't. And I'm a belter when I sing. Like I had no training, so I don't really know how to preserve my voice.
But when you do it, you smash it.
Yeah, I guess. But I also know that I would get bored very quickly. You know me. Like, you know my attention span.
Yeah.
Great.
My first 8 weeks of the show is the best, and that includes 6 weeks of rehearsal and then 2 weeks of show, and then...
Oh, don't get me wrong. I do 8 months of rehearsal, 2 weeks of shows, out.
Yeah.
Like...
I love the rehearsals, the creating stuff, yeah.
That's pretty much my touring process. 8 months of writing and developing, and then I just hit the nation 20 nights in a row and I'm done for the year. So I would be a part of a musical theatre production if it was a really short run.
Like the production company.
Yeah. Like I do something like that. I do have my eye on the mother role in Dear Evan Hansen if that ever comes here. I think I would really like to sing her song.
Oh, yeah, that's a great song. It sounds like she sounds a bit
and
like...
she's an alto as well. And there's never lead roles for altos in musicals. So it's so exciting.
This is a fact.
Are you going to go back? When it goes back, I mean, people don't realise how prolific unless you're a musical theatre nerd, people listening mightn't understand. How many shows have you done in Australia?
Wicked was the first sort of big one.
How many years were you on Wicked on
2
stage?
years.
I thought it was longer.
No, 2 years. Gemma did like 6. Gemma Ricks.
What did Lucy do?
She had a bit of a break, I think. So she did 4 or 5, but I think Gemma was there from the beginning to the end.
That is incredible. Incredible. Singing Defying Gravity every night. For 9 shows a week for 6 years.
It's ridiculous. Her pipes are incredible. Hence why she's playing Elsa.
Yes,
in Frozen. When that eventually comes about. But no, Wicked, and then there was Legally Blonde, Grease, and Ghost, and Jesus Christ Superstar. I did a small production of Hair many years ago. Oh, I did this great production of the last 5 years. I did the Puffs. I did Puffs, yeah.
Puffs was great.
Which is a little Harry Potter spoof we did in Melbourne, which was hilarious. Which there's talk of that coming back as well.
Oh,
which is a very, very, very fun show.
So are you going to go back once it comes out? I know you lost your passion a bit for it. Is it reignited?
I have auditioned for Moulin Rouge in this lockdown period. So we shall see. I went in for the Duke. Not for Christian. So... And he, in the movie, he's played by Richard Roxburgh. He's quite nerdy. I remember listening to an interview years ago. Richard Roxburgh said he based the character on Alexander Downer.
Yeah.
Which I think is just hilarious.
It's perfect.
This is not the role. This in the musical, he's more suave and debonair.
Well, I still think you were robbed to not get the Hamilton role.
Oh, thanks. I'm not sure who got it, but
not as Hamilton.
not as Hamilton. Although
King George.
I know a lot of the raps.
Me too. I could play Hamilton. I could play any of the roles. You want me to sub in? I'll sub in. You want me to be Burr? I can be Burr, sir. Okay? I can do it.
Pardon me. Are you Aaron Burr,
sir? That depends. Who's asking? Oh, well, sure. Sir. Oh, my God. We could just have done the podcast, Em and Rob Mills recreate Hamilton. Imagine.
I tell you what, there's something in that.
All right. Well, we should wrap up because you've got your work. You're doing some behind-the-scenes stuff on The Masked Singer.
I am doing some behind-the-scenes stuff on The Masked Singer. Funny, I pitched myself the job. I was like, hey, mate, it's just it's your friendly wolf here. Just letting you know I'm still in Melbourne and unemployed. So if you need me to do any work on the show, the offer's still there. And then within a couple of days, he goes, actually, yep, we do want you. And I started work 3 days after that.
I love that you manifested a job. That's so great. I'm just really glad a straight, white, good-looking man such as yourself got a chance. I'm just glad you're able to find some work, you know.
It did. I was thinking about this. Yeah. If I was still in the funk though, that I wouldn't have reached out.
No, so, you were able to be vulnerable.
I've been super vulnerable.
That's good. You have.
We've all learned something today.
I'm so exhausted. Why didn't we just keep this light and fluffy? All right, time to go.
Love you.
Love you too. I'm glad you're discovering, yourself. Keep touching, keep finding, keep feeling.
Yeah, well, and keep communicating. And this goes for everyone. It's so important.
Yeah.
The most important thing is to communicate with your friends, but also if you've got a partner, just communicate. It just makes life so much easier. Just rip the Band-Aid off instead of doing the slow tear. Just rip it off and have the chat.
Yeah. Don't let 20 years of resentment build up until you just can't be bothered anymore.
Absolutely not. It's the,
Just
it's the root of all evil, resentment.
Just speaking that for a friend. All right. Thanks, Rob Mills.
Here if you need.
Bye, babe.
Bye.